Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video I'll be showing you how I created this flyer in Photoshop. Yes, Photoshop. Of course, with these few simple steps, the same way I've done in previous video, you'll be able to arrive at the end of this video. So kindly stick to the end of the video. If you've not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and please turn on post notifications so you miss any videos I'll be dropping anytime from now. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing, click on file and click on new, and we're just going to set things in motion, right? So I'm just going to give this a name. Feel free to give it a name of your choice. And when you're done with my settings or your settings, just click OK. So if you notice my foreground color, this is the code. You can copy this code too, and this is my background color. So these are the two main colors that I'm going to be using for this design. Alright, so feel free to make use of it, and let's get started. So first thing, click on this. I'm going to revert this, so I have this one on top. Right, very important. Then I'm going to go to adjustment layer, click on solid color, so that would be the color there. So if I didn't invert it, I will have the darker green, so that's why you must invert first. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my resource file. Then again, as usual, the resource files that I use is in a link in the description of the video. So I'm going to start working in here. Like, I'm going to work on the model itself. So what I'm going to do now is, you can see now the edges are kind of like not smooth. I have some glitch around the edges. So hold down Control while you click on the thumbnail, go to select, hold down Shift and click on select and mask. Right, so this will pop out. If you don't hold down Shift, it will not come out like this. Turn on smart radius and use my settings just like this. Okay, so shift the edges inside more like this, and let me see. Okay, we'll increase the radius a bit. Turn down the smoothness so I don't have a distorted image generally. And when you're done, click OK like this. Okay, so as you can see now, it has made the selection, and just click on the mask, and when you go close to it, you can see it has gotten rid of those areas that are not needed. Right, so this is one of the easiest way, or one of the ways I use to get rid of things. So you can see that this edge now you have some remaining, so I'll go over to solid color like this and click OK. I'm still working with that base color. Now don't panic, right click and click on create clipping mask, so it's clipped on the image. Change the blend mode. Let me see. Okay, soft light works. You can see how it is blended. So invert the mask. Right, I'm going to change the color, sample a color from the hair, and I'm going to turn off cap locks and reduce my brush size. And last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to revert the foreground color, right, to white, because I'm working on a black mask. And I'm slightly going to paint around this area. You can see how I've concealed that there. Right, great. So this is how I tend to conceal imperfection on images. So double click on this one, select the two of them, and click on convert to smart objects, create a mask. Before you do that, I'm going to go over to filter right camera raw filter, and I'm going to make some adjustment to this image just to make it pop a little bit, not too much. So you can feel free to copy my settings also. So when you're done, just click OK. You can see the major difference between how it was and how it is now. Great. So on the duplicated copy, I'm going to go to camera raw again, and this time I'm going to do things a little bit different. So I'm going over to details, and I'm going to turn up noise reduction. You can see how much difference that is making, right? Close this up, and I'll go over to basics. Under basics, and I'm going to go over clarity, and I'm going to reduce clarity. Can see how softened the image has become, and I'll just add that and click OK. Now, because I don't want it to affect the entire image, I'm going to click on the mask, and I'm going to mask this out. Invert the mask, Ctrl I, and I'm going to use my brush to just paint on the areas that I want the effect to be. So I'm just going to paint on these areas like this, like this, like this, on these areas like this. So you can feel free to reduce the brush size in areas where you need to be more precise, right? And when you're done, click on the two of them and click on convert to smart object like this, and yep, I'm going to mask this out because I need to conceal some areas in this image. Revert this to black because you're working on a white mask like this, and I'm going to select my brush size. Make sure it's soft round brush you're using, and I'm going to increase the size of the brush. Increase the size of my brush. Turn this on again. Yeah, so soft round brush, and increase the size of my brush, and I'm just going to gently, you can see my flow is set to 50, just so the effect is very, very minimal. It's not too strong. Do on these areas here like this, and there you go. No, conceal. So if you make a mistake, you can revert the foreground color to white and then reveal, then revert it back to black to conceal again. I'm going to move this to the middle, and directly on top of this, I'm going to select a color first. Select this color using the eyedropper like this. Click OK. Then I'm going to create a layer on top of this. So with my brush and my flow set to 100, I'm just going to dabble this color around. Now I'm introducing the first color. Most time designing can be like you're trying to do makeup, you're adding foundation and all of that, colors that actually rhyme, really. So double click on this one. I'm going to increase. You can use my code. I'm going to shift it a little bit to the white areas, and I'm going to dabble on this part also, just like this, right? Great. Create a new layer again. This time double click and I'm going to shift closer to the white region. So this one is entirely white. So this one I'm going to use the size of the brush, then gently I'm going to add this to the edge, so it creates like this kind of like dreamy effect. Yeah, that's the goal. Select these two and I'm going to change the blend mode to screen. Then you can group the two of them, Ctrl G, and rename this as light. Then I'm going to reduce the opacity like this. You can see how nice this is turning out to be, right? Great. So go over to the topmost image, which is the image, and convert it to smart objects. Make a duplicate copy of it and Ctrl T, make it slightly bigger, move it to this part here like this, and I'll change the blend mode. Let's see what works. Most times I don't really get first hand what will work, except I toggle through the various blend modes that I have, and I can now settle for one of them. So in this case I'm looking for the one that works perfect, and okay, my candidates seem to be around here. No. Okay, so I'll use linear bond. So this works best for what I want to do. So I'm just going to reduce the opacity and reduce the fill. Create the mask like this. With your brush selected, turn off the cap locks, and I'm just going to conceal these areas like this. Good. Let me zoom close so you see what we've done in real time. So I'm just going to drag this all the way below the light. You can see that layers are very important in Photoshop. If you must learn Photoshop well, you must know how to use your layers effectively, right? I cannot overemphasize that point. So I'm going to revert this and click on solid color, but I'm going to make it darker so you can use the code there, right? So I'm going to just make sure your foreground color is set to black. Make sure you're on your mask. So I'm just going to erase all these areas here like this. I'm going to do that again. Erase all these parts here like this. Great. Reduce the opacity slightly. I might bring it up later on, but I'm just going to leave it like this. So let me zoom in. Good. You can see that we're making progress with this image, right? Or with this particular design. Next thing I'm going to do is go over to resource file, and I'm going to bring this in. You can see where I have positioned myself, the second layer directly above the background. So make this bigger like this. You can increase it Probably I don't want it to be there, I want it to be here. I'm just looking for the right position. Okay, I think I found one. Click enter. Now press Ctrl U on your keyboard. This will come out. Click on colorize and move it to the green areas and click OK. With this done, go over to your blend mode and change it. I'm going to change mine to multiply, and I'm going to reduce the opacity like this. Right, so it's a smart object. That means you can go back and change the hue and saturation and move things around. So increase the opacity a bit like this, and there you have it. So directly on top of this, okay, that's wrong. So I'm going to delete this. Click and delete. Click and delete. So directly here, I'm just going to use this to write what I want to write. I'm introducing my text now. So this is green. Supposed to be green sugar, but let me do the green first. So green, click enter, Ctrl J, then I'm going to write, double click on thumbnail, then this would be sugar. Okay, so I'm just going to resize this, reduce the size like this. Select the two of them, click on color, and I'm just going to take it up to white. I'll be changing this later, but for now I'll leave it here. Right, so with the two of them selected, I'm just going to drag them below the image here like this. I think this has to live here, so I'm just going to drag this and put it below the text, but the text has to be below the image. Right, great. So let's proceed with this. So select the green and the sugar, Ctrl J to duplicate it. Still selected, right click and select convert to shape. Press Ctrl E on your keyboard to make it one shape, just one shape. Right, I'm going to hide those ones. Go to your rectangle tool, and directly up above you can see that there's fill here and there's stroke. So click on the fill first and click on none, then go to where you have stroke, set it to 8, change the color from black to what? White. This 8 looks a little bit small, so I'll probably make it 10. I love this edges that it's creating here. So go over to and make it 10. Make sure you're selecting a rectangle first, because if you don't, it won't work. Right, so good. So let me turn these two on. You can see how nice this is. Right, great. So I'm just going to move this one in particular directly on top of the image to create this effect. You can see how nice this is, right? Great. I'm going to select all of this and move it upward. I'm going to select this one to this white I have here, and this one, good. And I'm going to move it upward also. I'm using the arrow key on my keyboard to do this. So I'm just going to move that up to 100. I told you I was going to restore that. Okay, now to the more interesting part. So I'm going to sample a color from this place here, so it's not white and not entirely yellow, but it's just somewhere in between, like this. So yeah, I'm gonna click OK. Great. Now that this is out of the way, the next thing I'm going to do is, my layers are kind of like scattered and I'm not liking it in any way, right? So let's do some arrangement. So I'm just going to select from this place to this place, group them, and I'm going to just name this BG. That's the short form for background, right? You can see that has solved a whole lot of my problems. Great. So I'm going to the topmost layer, I'm going to my resource file, I'm going to bring in this guy here, drag and drop ministry. Yeah, that's where we belong. If you cannot use the drag and drop, if you're using a Windows 11, please use the place embedded. So I'm just going to increase the size of this one. I know this image is looking all jagged up with the edges not correct, but then no worries, go to blur and click on Gaussian blur, and I'm just going to set my value to 22.2. Now what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to click on adjustment layer and I'm going to click on curves, right click and click on create clipping mask, so it affects only that image. So I'm just going to bring this all the way down here like this, and let me move this in place. Double click on the Gaussian blur to adjust the blur. You can see that's why it's always good that your images are always converted to smart objects, right? So increase this. Okay, I think I'll just use this. So this is before and this is after. Create a new layer directly above that, and I'm going to revert this. Double click on the white and select this color. Yeah, use my code, go to your brush, and my flow is set to 100. Reduce it a bit, and I'm just going to double around here like this. Okay, around the middle part is fine. That's okay. Alright, I'm still going to adjust the Gaussian blur. For some reason this doesn't sit well with me. Okay, I think this is nice enough, but I'm just going to reduce the size somewhere around here and move this downwards a bit. Yeah, good. So I'm going to the topmost layer, going to my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw this because my foreground color is set to the lemon green, so that's why I have it as a color. So duplicate this and change the color. I'm just going to drag this outside, nothing serious, just something like this, so it's overlapping the first one. Having done this, the next thing I'm going to do is, okay, let me move this upward a bit. Text, and too big, I'm going to reduce the size. Click here, 11, fine. Just going to drag here, but I'm going to change the name So it's supposed to be this. I don't know how exactly you pronounce that, but then that's the name. And change the font to this, then change the color also to white like this. Voila, there you go. Okay, so I'm just going to introduce my last element for this design, which is this guy here, and I'm just going to make a few changes to it. I'm going to reduce this one size, take it all the way up like this, duplicate it and drag it to this point here, Ctrl T, flip horizontal here, and take this up like this, position it here, make it bigger, with this selected, hold down shift and select the second one, Ctrl G to group it, and I'm going to rename this palm. Go to your solid adjustment and click on curves, right click on it and click on create clipping mask. So with this, I'm just going to reduce it this way, then I'm going to click this, convert it to smart object, then go to filter, blur, motion blur. So I'm just going to change the direction or the angle, as this case may be, and also add more distance to it. Click OK when you are done, and bring this one down a bit. And voila, there you go. I'm going to adjust the motion blur of this. Good, click OK. I think I like it this way. Okay, so there you have it. This is how I created this in Photoshop. So if this video has been helpful to you and you like what you see or what you've created, please kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on post notification. Please don't forget to turn on post notification. I'll see you in the next video.